the Justice Salami's matter. That's the ousted PCA. Remember, the AGF has been making comments about it. And so we'll take it off from there, as we're joined now by Mr. Emmanuel Umoren, who is a legal practitioner. Thank you for coming on this morning.
Thank you very much.
Well, the AGF has been speaking about how difficult it is. I mean, the pendency of the suit just kind of shackles the president from acting upon the recommendations of the NJC, and some say rightly so. What do you think?
Well, I always say one thing, that an attorney general should be an attorney general.
Isn't he? Or haven't they always been?
You're not always a lawyer to government.
Oh,
you
okay.
give advice according to the law and justice to the government, because I'm also a minister of justice. You're not just attorney general, you're a minister of justice.
And sometimes also ministers in the temple of justice.
No, all lawyers are ministers in the temple of justice. But that is very important. You see, the reason for this is that, yes, we all say when something is sub judice, we should not interfere. But the fact is that when the Judicial Commission, NJC, that first advised the president to suspend Justice Salami, Honorable Justice Salami, there was a matter in court. The Attorney General did not advise the president not to act. They quickly acted. Now, the whole body...
Wait, was there a matter in court about his removal at the time? It wasn't about his removal.
No, there was a pending matter about the factors that led to his removal. You do not go to court over your removal until there is an act. If they say there is a speculation somewhere that you are going to be removed, that is not a reason for you to go to court. Unless there is a process towards removing you. You understand? And Judge Salami had challenged the proceedings of the National Judicial Commission at that time. There was a matter against the CJN.
Okay.
There was another matter against the National Judicial Commission that was querying his invitation. They was querying his invitation to defend himself.
Okay, wait, if I get you right now, are you saying that insofar as they acted at that time, even though there was a matter in court, they should do the same now?
Well, if you remove somebody while the matter is in court, and the NJC has advised you to bring him back, why would you say there's a new matter in court?
No, if you did something wrong at the time, and you're asked to do something wrong again, is that what you're saying?
No, you see, there is the principle I was discussing yesterday in court, McFoy and UAC. When an act that you did previously, edition of Lord Denning, McFoy and UAC, when an act that you did previously was null and void, you cannot rely on that null and void act to continue to hold on to, like you want to hold on to a good thing, because there is the principle of law that restrains you from taking advantage of something wrong you did before, or something wrong you did before, to stop yourself from doing something good.
So how does it apply in this case?
It's called the principle of estoppel. The equity will stop you if you have gotten benefit of a wrong act, and now it will stop you from using that benefit you got to now say, look, this thing I got it wrongly, I'm not going to do good here.
Apply to this case. How does it work?
Now, when the matter that was in court before it was suspended, while the matter was in court, it was suspended. Now, the body that asked you to suspend him have come out to tell you, reinstating we did wrong, because very senior members of that body said the reason for his suspension was wrong, and the man did not do that.
What law has it violated in this case? Because lawyers tell us, on this program, that the president is not bound or mandated to act upon the recommendation.
Yes, he is not bound. However, he is not bound in appointment. Salami was suspended, was not sacked. It was a suspension. So now he is still the PCA
in suspension.
In name. Do you understand? But he's not on the seat. Because the person that was on the seat was acting. was never confirmed. His name was never said, because you cannot have two people on the seat.
Yeah, but if you're suspended, you're suspended.
No, you're suspended, you can come back. The process of coming back is different. You see, process of appointment and process of removal are two different things. But when somebody is suspended, you are held inchoate.
What is interesting, Suleiman, it's interesting because Justice Weiss also, spoke on the matter, and he said that it was the NJC that suspended Justice Salami, and as such, the NJC should call him back. What is the matter with recommendation? They're not recommending that. They are recommending his reinstatement to the president. It wasn't the president that suspended him in the very first instance.
Yeah, you see, it's the NJC. You see, the NJC, the way our constitution is worded, there is, because you see, you make such recommendations. NJC does not have power to tell you to come out. You see, if NJC wants to remove a judge, even in the state high court, they make recommendation to the state governor to remove him. You understand? Because of the checks, so that one body cannot just remove a judge. Now, the recommendation was made to the president to suspend him because he was being investigated in court. Now, that same body has come back to the president and said, look, this man did not do any wrong. Let him come back. And I say you're waiting for that there's a matter in court to stop you. That is not justice. Yeah, that's what we're saying. The Attorney General is Attorney General and Minister for Justice.
Yeah, but the matter in court has a direct consequence on his reinstatement.
No, you see, excuse me. You do not move the goalpost after the match has started. The man you suspended, in all honesty, you suspended him wrongly. Now, what justice demands that when you have done wrong, you correct your wrong. The matter in court can be determined despite the fact that he is there.
What would he be seeking in court if he's reinstated?
If he's reinstated, I mean, the person that the issues that are taken to court are not issues. They are issues that are academic. That if he goes there, if he's asked to appoint the academic
Mr. Umoren,
issues,
it's really grave, though, because if we're talking about case of sub judice here, and the AGF, who is a good lawyer, he understands that. Look, he says it will be sub judice because there's already a case regarding that suspension in court brought before the law courts by the suspended PCA. So if that case is not dispensed with and has not been withdrawn, the government going to take any action as the advisor of the nation as well as the presidency, so to speak, then he has to advise them not to jeopardize the judicial process of that particular case.
You see, last week there was a decision of the Court of Appeal on issues similar to this in the matter of the enthronement of a chief in Lagos State, a first-class chief. I don't want to advertise the matter here. Now, the issue was this. The matter was in court when Lagos State took a decision to appoint the chief. Now, the only issue the chief took from the High Court, he lost in the High Court, was whether the principle of least pendings, that's which comes and it's from this sub judice, that if a matter is in court, all parties should stay action. Whether the principle of least pendings would make that judgment of the court to be set aside by the Court of Appeal. He said no. That principle of least pendings or sub judice, as least pendings in particular, it affects land. But however, if you did not win, if you don't have title, you cannot stop somebody who has title from transferring his title. It's when it's transferred, even the matter is in court, when it's transferred affects you. That is the sense that if both of us are in court, I lose. I am the one that's transferred, I lose. And Chamberlain buys from me. Then you can now, the court can now stop the sale to Chamberlain and hold that the sale to Chamberlain was wrong. But if I am the proper owner of my title and I live by selling land, and you just come and challenge me and I win, there's no reason why the sale I made, even during the pendency of that suit, can be voided. I hope you understand there. Now, we are coming to a matter of sub judice. Yes, matters should not. be determined, because you do not want to put the court in the place of a fait accompli. But there is a fact here. When this man was in court, why is it that a PDP, I'm sorry, I'm not a politician, but when it's like a thing between PDP and AC, when this man was in court, there was a recommendation to suspend him. And that body that sat had issues, because the whole body the whole persons that were supposed to attend that meeting, they were not part of that meeting. Now, that body advised the president to suspend Honorable Justice Salami. He quickly went and suspended him. Now, the whole body came and reviewed what that other body...
Was he in court before he was
Of course, he was in court.
Challenging.
Yes, he was. First of all, there was a suit he was asked to withdraw. But when the body now met, he rushed to court again to challenge the meeting of that body over him. And they don't have any power, because one, he was not also invited. There was a letter that was to have to be sent to him as a member of that body. He was not invited. So how can you invite certain people of a body and not invite other people of a body?
That at the time he went to court thereafter, it was after that decision had been taken. He was challenging the constitution and decision of that board.
When the body was going to meet, you have a notice. You have to issue notices.
That controversial notice where the substitution of the service.
There were various meetings, but that last one, that the Chief Judge of the Federal High Court was chair and wrote a report, which was the base of which the agency now took a decision to suspend him. There was a report that was prepared and written, and then the agency now reviewed that report and made a recommendation. When that body was to meet, he went to court to stop that body from meeting. Now that body met, despite an action in court, recommended to the president to suspend him or to remove him from office. The president suspended him. Now the Attorney General of the Federal Commission did not advise that, look, there is a matter in court. You cannot take any action here. Now, an ill has been done to a Nigerian. Because first of all, Justice Salami cannot be a justice of the president of the court if he was not a Nigerian. Okay, and ill has been done to a Nigerian. Now, the committee, the body that caused that ill to be done, has come back to tell you, please, let's correct. We were wrong in our earlier decision.
Yeah, but
let's correct it. And then somebody is now advising that the wrong action you took earlier, and knowing the principle in USC McFoy, that any decision you take wrongly, anything you do wrongly, cannot stand, because nothing can stand on nothing.
Yeah, but should we be bothered about this matter, because the same purpose, or the very matter which, this reinstatement is in court. So even if the AGF didn't advise the government and the government did wrong at the time, it's not a lost cause, because if it's in court, the court can give its verdict, and when that verdict is done, justice would have been served.
You see, let us get this right. We know how timelessly matters move in court. We know that I'm coming. The man whoever is in court, even no matter how frivolous his action is, has the right to go to the Supreme Court. So you can hold the matter on. Lawyers, you know what has been happening. Lawyers can hold matters on for the next 20 years.
Yeah, but he knew that before he went to court in the first place.
No, he's not his own. He's not the one that went to court this time. It was somebody, Oni, the governor of the former governor of Ekiti State. They went to court stating that if he is reinstated, that he's going to be there to appoint a panel to go and sit over election petitions, and that the panel that will appoint will be doing his own will, and all those, that some people will their right will be breached. Those are speculative issues, because you see, the man that has taken a judicial oath. You see, let us get something right here. Yesterday, when I was driving, when I heard the news, the Attorney General also was referring to, when in the same light, was talking about the Boris case and the plea, what he call plea bargain. You see, let the Attorney General not lie to us. We are Nigerians. We are lawyers. We read. We know what happened. The Boris case was such that while Ibori was playing around in Nigeria, running all over the world, they admitted all the evidence through the other people that were prosecuted. Don't forget that Ibori's lawyer, Ibori's wife, when she started her defense, she started with the QC. At a stage, the state had to appoint a lawyer for her because everybody withdrew. Because all the evidence that evidence that they would have objected to had already gone into into record. So there was nothing anybody could do. And Ibori saw that there was nothing he could do. Secondly, he had earlier been convicted in England. You see, let us get that. He had two earlier convictions.
Well, this matter, how can it be resolved? Because some other lawyers, because if you look at it now, loads of lawyers for and against this whole recall matter of
As
the
always.
PCA, and some are saying that for it to come to an end, Justice Salami, whose retirement is billed for next year, should withdraw the case he has in court. And if truly he has been reinstated or been asked to be reinstated, isn't that why he went to the court in the first place?
No. Excuse me, please. You see, we must be fair to ourselves. A man that has telling you that you are asking him to withdraw his case when the attorney general is telling you that he has advised the president that there's another matter that came out. It wasn't instituted at that time. It came out after the NJC had advised that the president should reinstate him. That's the matter that they are talking about.
No,
now.
some are saying that if he had withdrawn that case almost immediately, that this reinstatement have been done because this case didn't come up immediately.
No.
From NJC
the day, well, all read the papers. The day the NJC decision came out, the same day they filed this process. In the same day as the NJC decision was coming out, the process was filed.
So for you now, there are two cases pending, and until those two cases are sorted out, it's not just Justice Salami's case that is holding his reinstatement. It's also the case of the former governor of Ekiti State.
No. Justice Salami's case should have stopped. You understand? You see, I'm talking about justice here. Justice Salami's case should have stopped the president acting
In the very first instance.
in the first instance. So if you have acted wrongly in the first instance, any other thing you do following that act is wrong unless you put the man back in the position he was. Do you understand? That's what the court is, that's what they're asking. Put the man back in the position he was. We're not telling you to lift him higher or take him. Put the man back in the position he was.
What about
that is the issue of sub judice.
Okay.
Do you understand? Because the fact now that he has been removed from office, whatever decision the court in his own case comes up with, it has caused a fait accompli which the constitution forbids. The constitution says all powers in the realm must obey orders of court.
So how do you see this getting resolved?
The only thing I see is because we are playing politics and we are destroying our judiciary, in all honesty. We are becoming a laughing stock all over the Commonwealth. I remember when we started studying law, the other jurisdictions used to look at our decisions and use our decisions in courts. But even in Ghana now, nobody is going to take our decisions any serious.
But it's not that bad.
It is that bad because we are messing up our judiciary.
No, because we have some very fantastic cases and we still do have, which international community is using as an example. This year stands out, sticks out as a sore thumb.
Let me get something right here, Chamberlain. You guys are doing a great job here. Some person may, in another program, in channels, was something that may ever say, what kind of, look, I won't watch channels again. Because of that, people will miss watching your program. When you are talking of channels, you are talking of channels as a group. Nobody would distinguish that, look, okay, there's a different television station for Sunrise. What we are talking about the judiciary in Nigeria. If people see that the judiciary is being messed up like this, and politicians are having their say, and they are having hold over judicial officers, it is going to scare others.
Isn't that the corruption in
It's
the
part of the
judiciary
corruption
you talked about?
No, it's corruption against the judiciary. They are trying to scare judicial officers. That look, we can deal with you, We can remove you from office and nothing can happen. That's what's happening.
Can that be if,
That's what is
if
happening
the
now.
judiciary didn't also play along?
No, please. Let us take away what judiciary did or what. Now, this is a scare tactic. Telling judges, if you come against us, we are going to deal with you. That's what is happening here.
So for you, reinstatement of the PCA, whether or not there's a matter in court, should be done.
Yes, because initially it was wrong for him to have been suspended. That's what I'm saying.
And the subjudice matter,
Whatever it
wouldn't
is,
matter
you see,
for
you are justice. You see, equity is a requirement for justice. It comes to serve justice. You get. So what we are saying here is this: that you do not hold on to the law when it suits you and disobey the law when it doesn't suit you. How can you, in one arm, deprive a Nigerian of his office, a judicial officer, not just any Nigerian, a judicial officer, right. And then in another arm, you're not coming to tell us that because the law is there. It is something that was happening during Obasanjo's time. Whatever laws he wanted to, whatever judgment he wanted to obey, he will obey. Whatever he didn't want to obey, he will tell the judge, the attorney to go and interpret the decision of the Supreme Court.